Alright, just doing a very quick audio test. I'll just see how this sounds and I'll be starting in about a minute or so. Bear with me. Alright, my timer is just about up. Hope everyone's well, anyone that's joined us. I'm also curious to find out how the sound is, because sometimes it is absolutely awful on here. Just bear with me. Alright, my timer is just about up. Okay, is that bearable, or is it bad? Bear with me, I'll just check a couple of things. We've got the live chat on the screen. If anyone wishes to say hi, it's always great interacting with any viewers that have joined us. Alright, bear with me. Yep, but noise suppression. Right, any feedback on the audio would be great. Much appreciated, okay? Right, I've decided to do a live stream tonight because I noticed pretty big stories come back into the news. I'll mention a name in a minute and see if anyone can tell me anything about him. I'd be curious to know if anyone recognises the name. It would be Ignacio Ecavaro. If that means anything to you. Hi Grace, thank you for joining us once again. I'm assuming you could probably tell us who Ignacio Ecavaro is. I would hope. Yeah, I just did my audio test and I could hear it sounded like running water in the background. I always seem to get that. Yeah, bear with me, I'm just going to... one more check. Yeah, I've still got the sound of running water, but what can you do, hey? Okay, I'm going to kick on ahead. Yeah, okay. How are you these days, Grace? I hope everything's going well for you. Right, I'm just setting up. Okay, like I said, the name Ignacio Ecavaro. Can anyone identify that person? It's a name that probably came up about just over 2 years ago. Right. Yeah, there's a couple of stories actually. And Also, I don't know if any of you caught my last live stream. We looked at a web app called Forensically, and it's a great way of seeing if any photos have been doctored, and we're going to be firing that up again tonight. I plan to go maybe, I'm not going to go too long, an hour I'm going to try and aim for. Although all of a sudden I cannot find the news story I was after. Just give us a minute. Right, Grace, you don't remember Ignacio Echevarri? Okay. It was, if we go back to the 3rd of June 2017, a particular event happened in the town of London, in a particular area called Borough Market. Now I know Grace knows it because I met you there once. And you gave a brilliant guided tour of the place. I'd recommend Grace's tour to anyone if she offers it again. Now, Ignacio originally was pronounced missing. He was a 38-year-old HSBC executive. He was a little on the overweight side. So I did actually make a video on him. Well, I did a video about the whole situation. He came up because he was missing, although after a couple of days he was unfortunately pronounced dead. Right, now 30 seconds I'm going to share my screen and you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, here we go. Right, sorry, yeah, I should have prepared better for this, but I didn't. Right, this guy, a junior doctor. I'm basically talking about the Borough Market attack that took place on the 3rd of June. It's come back into the news today because, well, not today actually, it was over the weekend I think. It's popped back up, and that is because the inquest into the deaths have finally been carried out. Better late than never, hey? Now, I don't know if any of you guys know, do families have to wait for an inquest into a death to be carried out before a funeral can take place? If so, there's been 8 bodies on ice which can finally be buried. I mean, I could have that wrong, but I was under the impression that, yeah. Okay, anyway, Ignacio, this guy, like I said, originally when the story came up, this guy was missing for about 2 days, but it turns out they've changed the story now, and he was actually one of the people that this gentleman worked on. He was a junior doctor. He'd only been working or practicing for about 18 months, I believe. And then, anyway, apparently he worked on Ignacio. It says, oh, bear with me, my cat wants to go out. I'll just let him out. Right, you now have my undivided attention. Right, a doctor who rushed to save lives during the London Bridge attack says he could not stand by and watch people die. He wanted to do anything he could to help. Johnny Moses, an off-duty junior doctor who had been in the job for 18 months, was having dinner in a restaurant in Borough Market when he heard screams from the streets outside as people were attacked. He told ITV News his first thought was, I just didn't want them to be alone. Now bear in mind this was a crowded London street. They were far from alone. and the events of that night stayed with him long after the attack. The inquest heard Dr. Moses managed to save the life of Marie Bonville, who was stabbed 9 times. He also battled to save the life of another victim, Ignacio Echeverria, who died at the scene. Now, despite dying at the scene, Ignacio wasn't found for like 2 days. The Spaniard was hailed a hero after he used his skateboard to fend off the terrorists as they attacked others. Now, I always thought that was a bit of a wacky story they were pushing there. Ignacio, who worked at HSBC in his late 30s, judging by the description that his family gave of him when he was missing, he didn't sound like in the best state of health, and yet he was out skateboarding on a Saturday night. And he then fought off some attackers. As Ignacio lay injured, Dr. Moses went to his aid, giving CPR and shouting for a defibrillator and oxygen. The junior doctor and a group of other people then carried casualties, including the Spaniard, to the north side of London Bridge where ambulances were waiting, away from the attackers and further dangers. He was then told by a senior doctor to try one more round of CPR before the defibrillator said there was no sign of life. Ignacio was pronounced dead shortly after. Yeah, I thought it was strange that they altered the story. There are a couple of videos, but I'm not going to watch it unless anyone particularly wants to. Grace informs me that the funeral is going to take place once the coroner is satisfied that the body is no longer needed for the investigation. Gotcha, great. Yeah, I'm going to actually search for the story about... Yeah, bear with me. Borough Market inquest. Now, is that quite a long time? 2 years for... It took 2 years for the inquest to finally be released. Yeah, I did read a story, but now seems to be not able to find it, where we heard that we heard that the police were being criticised by the families. Right, I'm glad these pictures have come up, because these are the very pictures we're going to put through Forensically very shortly and see how they appear. I mean, for some of them, this one particularly, you don't even need to put them through Forensically to see that something's a bit off. But hey ho. Right, this story, where does it come from? Have we got a date or a time? Let's check I'm not reading something from like 3 years ago. 7th of May, I am. Okay. Perhaps I go to news. Jury at the London Bridge attackers inquest held no question of attributing blame. Inquest sees graphic images of the last moments of the London Bridge attackers. Inquest slams lack of protection. Perhaps this is it. I thought it was interesting how they were almost trying to offer the police even more sort of a right to our privacy. They wanted to, the way it was written, it's not the story I can find now. England's chief coroner has criticised the lack of barriers to protect pedestrians on London Bridge at the end of a lengthy inquest into the killing of 8 people during an extremist attack 2 years ago. Oh god. I accidentally clicked the link. Right, Coroner Mark. Is this even a recent story? 28th of June, yeah, that's correct. Right, Coroner Mark Lucroft said Friday that 8 people were unlawfully killed during a van and knife attack on June the 3rd that left 48 people badly injured. Unlawfully killed rather than murdered. I guess that's because, well, according to the story, none of the murders were premeditated as such. So I guess that's why they're calling it unlawful killing. The attack started when 2 pedestrians were killed on London Bridge before the extremists crashed their hired van into railings. 3 men emerged with knives and attacked people on the bridge and nearby Borough Market. The 3 assailants were shot dead by police. No protective barriers had been put in place along the bridge despite a similar attack on Westminster Bridge 3 months earlier. The families of some of the victims criticised police and security services for failing to take action to prevent the attack or lessen its impact, particularly because one of the extremists had been watched by authorities who were aware of his radical beliefs. Philippe Pijard, father of the victim Alexandra Pijard, said outside the court that there had been a lot of missed opportunities to stop the assault. I think this attack could have been prevented, he said, citing the lack of protection along the bridge as one factor. Here we have Helen Kennett. She reacts as family members of the London Bridge attack give a statement. She hasn't got many tears, has she? She's screwing her face up, but okay, whatever. And that seems to be the end of that story. I think this attack could have been prevented, he said, yeah. Right, now I'm glad they mentioned extremists being watched by authorities, because that brings me on to another story. I see Mudlark digging up the Thames in the chat. Thanks to him, because he pointed out this story to me earlier. It's about our old friend, the Lion of London. Quite a comical one. Dean Jones, hi. Agenda 21 is now kicking in. Agenda 21, what is that? Mudlark, you think Ivanka Trump is a male? You're absolutely... Is that the daughter? I'll just check I don't mix them up. Because there's Ivana, which was Donald's first wife. And then is Ivanka Donald's daughter. But either way, yeah, I believe a lot of the people that Donald get around with are a bit suspect. And Dean Jones, fake is the new norm. Well, I'm not sure how new it is, because I think you could go back, goodness knows how long. I mean, you could go back, for example, to the moon landings and say fake. It's been fake all the way back then. Anyway, right, let's read about this crazy story that Mudlark pointed out to me earlier. Of course, we hear about Rory Llanos, 49. He screamed "F you" on Millwall as he took on knife murderers. Now, I've pointed out many times he never shouted that. According to his own interview, he never said this. But he is now apparently being placed on government's Prevent programme over fears he may become an extremist. Now, not a jihadist extremist, but but the opposite, basically, an anti-Islamist radical, extremist. Right, Rory may have to attend de-radicalisation classes and police are monitoring him. Terrorists Quran Butt, Rashid Redwan and Yusuf Zagba struck in southeast London, yeah, we know that. Mr. Llanos slashed multiple times by Redwan and Zagba in the Black and Blue restaurant. I thought it was outside, but I could have that wrong. There is an interesting point at the bottom of this, well, we get through, something I've been asking to see for a long time. Right, the Lion of London. Oh, this story was on, basically came out today. The Lion of London Bridge, who was hailed a hero for fighting off knife-wielding jihadists during the terror attack, said he is on an anti-terror watch list after being contacted by a far-right anti-Islam supporter. Now, bear in mind, Roy's told us this. Now, do we believe much that Roy tells us? Or will he say anything that he has either A, been told to say, or B, thinks will get him attention? Let's see, Roy 49, yeah, we've read that already. As he took on the knife murderers, well, no, not murderers actually, according to the coroner, they were unlawful killers, so calling them murderers is incorrect. But you can't blame the Daily Mail for being guilty of sensationalism. Right, while he was enjoying a pint in the Black and Blue restaurant in Borough Market in Southwark, South East London. Now, bear in mind, Borough Market, the Black and Blue restaurant is in that area of London that is really expensive. At the time of this attack, Rory was homeless, I believe. But he had enough money on that evening to go out and drink a pint at a fancy restaurant. Not that I've ever been in there, but I bet they target the tourists and put their prices up, but whatever. Mr. Llanos has since been placed on the government's Prevent programme over fears that he could become an extremist after he was contacted by far-right yobs, according to Roy, that is. That's the only source they've got for this so far. He has had to attend, so he's apparently already attended them. He has had to attend radicalisation classes and police are monitoring him. The Sun report, well that must be true then. Mr. Llanos said, they treat me like a terrorist, but I'm not political at all. The 49-year-old required surgery after being slashed multiple times in the head and neck by Rashid and Yusuf, who, along with a third terrorist, Karam, ended up killing 8 and injured 38 others. That number's changed, wasn't that 48? Okay, whatever, we'll carry on. He was released from hospital 12 days after the attack. Actually, he was released a lot sooner than that because he was on the GMTV sofa within a couple of days. I seem to remember he said he had to go in and have an operation on his punctured lung. But they did release him to go and do an interview, so nothing weird about that. It left him with more than 80 stitches in his head, ear, arms and hands. While in hospital, he was pictured propping himself up in bed with a Learn to Run manual his friends had given him, which they said displayed our South East London sense of humour. Have we got a picture of that? No. I'd be interested to see it though. Yeah, there it is. Now, if I'm not mistaken, was that on the same night that he was attacked? If it was, they managed to find this manual pretty sharpish. Ooh. Are we still going? Yep. The Millwall fan was hailed a hero after the attacks, and some even calling for him to be given, in brackets, because they missed out the word George Cross, the highest civilian award for gallantry. However, in July 2017, footage from February that year emerged of him spitting on a black photographer and ranting about foreign CUNTs who stink like SHIT. He escaped jail after being handed a suspended sentence and a £50 fine. Later in September 2018, he was charged after being found with the powerful and potentially deadly painkiller fentanyl, not heard of that one, the drug linked to the death of pop star Prince. Now, I was under the impression he was found with amphetamines, but they're now saying it was fentanyl. Maybe that's another name for it, who knows. Right. Prevent, which was introduced in 2011, has an annual budget of about £40 million and aims to stop people being drawn into terrorism. Extremism is defined by Prevent. Apparently Prevent can now define extremism as vocal or active opposition to fundamental British values. So, for example, if you weren't a fan of the royal family, does that make you an extremist? Including democracy, the law of rule, individual liberty and mutual respect and tolerance of different faiths and beliefs. We also include in our definition of extremism calls for the death of members of the armed forces. Public bodies including councils and schools are required by the 2015 Counter-Terrorism Act to have due regard to the need to prevent people from being drawn into terrorism. I'm sure there was something about Rory that we missed. Now we're just getting an advert about Prevent. Where was it? There was Here we go. Even after being repeatedly stabbed and falling to the floor, CCTV footage showed Mr. Llano raising his fists in defence. Now, I'd be very curious to see that CCTV footage, as weirdly, despite showing Roy swearing and racially abusing the photographers, we never saw the footage of him fighting off the 4 attackers. It's a bit crazy. It's a bit weird. Yeah, that's our Rory Llanos. Do we want to see him interviewed one last time on Good Morning Britain? I'm not sure how long this video goes for. Yeah, and then I'll go and look at the chat in 1 second. I'm just going to turn my microphone off while we watch this for 30 seconds. Bear with me.
Why didn't they try and kill you? I mean, how come you survived, do you think? Because they killed other people. Why didn't they try and kill you? I mean, how come you survived, do you think? Because they killed other people.
Yeah, with one stab when someone's died.
Wow. To be honest, looking at the stab wound on your neck, they came pretty close, Roy. Does that make you feel
lucky, and also very lucky?
Did they run off, Roy, after they attacked you then?
That is thingy. I don't know if I tried to get out and they followed me and thought I was dead. And that's then within seconds the shooting is starting, I think.
Very quickly after the thing with you.
The emergency services were brilliant, even from the police who took me to the hospital in a police car.
There's something inside you that made you do that. I mean, what is it?
I don't know. I wish I could know. I mean, the thing is, when people join themselves or not, you don't want to let these people win. But you don't know who they are. I didn't even see they had fake suicide belts on or nothing. You just see an instant reaction. Will I do it again? I don't know. It could be yourself, whatever, your family or whatever. It's just, you try and stop them. Just try and stop them coming in there. Okay, I've got a good idea from it. But they're not alive, I am still.
Okay, good stuff. Well done, Roy. What a hero you are, mate. And not at all full of crap. Right, we also heard about, very weird, there was another story involving a football fan. I did say I was going to go to the chat first though. Mudlark confirms that Ivanka is indeed the daughter. Am I pronouncing it right, do you think? Ivanka? Who knows? Very weird names, but whatever. Mudlark tells us he sometimes thinks we're near the end as a species very soon. Gotta say, Mudlark, due to my Christian belief, I don't believe that. Alright, Dean Jones points out we're all going to die in our lifetime, possibly, unless we happen to be alive for the second coming, you might call it. The Great Tribulation, which is something to read about in the Book of Revelations, but that's on to another subject. Yeah, Mudlark, you're saying 100 years or so will be obsolete? Like I said, I'm not so sure. We shall see. I'm sure life will change hugely in 100 years, but we'll keep going, because who knows, maybe the electrical grid will fall to pieces and we'll all be reliant on something else. I mean, I am kind of cautious. I'm aware of the fact that we do not want to become too attached to electrical gadgets, because who knows, imagine we had a big power cut. Let's say we did actually get attacked by terrorists for real, and they took out the internet or they took out the electrical grid. How stuffed we'd be. Or if we were, we hear lots about microchips being implanted in people. What if we weren't allowed to trade or buy stuff or without this microchip, which some people compared to the mark of the beast, again spoken about in the book of Revelation. So yeah, it's certainly something to think about, but I do not believe the human race will become obsolete. That is my opinion. Yeah, Mudlark again, or testing biological warfare on us. Possibly. I'm not sure if there's much that they could invent that hasn't already been around. Say, I remember back when it was even leading up to, it was probably between the two Gulf Wars, and they kept talking about anthrax. Do you remember that? They kept saying about the threat of anthrax, and that Saddam Hussein was going to try and drop it on us at any minute. Of course, anthrax was something that they used in, well, I say of course, I believe it was something they used in Vietnam. Or am I mixing it with Agent Orange? I don't know. But either way, yeah. And also we hear about the South Korea and their nuclear weapons, I think. I don't know if Amazing Grace is still with us, but I do remember a video she made on Kim Jong-un and his polystyrene looking atomic bombs or whatever they were. Again, and we hear about all the huge amounts of money that was spent on updating Trident. Who knows what really goes on with that. Right, Mudlark says it's lagging. How is it going now? Are we still live? I'd be interested to hear. Appears to be. Dean Jones, look at that actor. I'm guessing that's Roy you're referring to. Well, Mudlark's left us due to the lagging. How about the rest of you? Is it all working? I see DJ Kara's joined. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for chatting. How is the stream for the rest of you? I got to say, I'm monitoring it on a separate device and it did pause once. So I hope it's working right for you guys. Some feedback would be great. Right now, I don't know if many of you followed the Borough Market attacks and all the stories that came out. Now, had any of you heard of Gerald Vowles? Because it wasn't a name I particularly saw a lot about, but apparently his and Roy's story mirror each other. Gerald Vowles was watching the Champions League when the terror struck. The 49-year-old saw the terrorists attacking a woman and tried to distract them. He described how the terrorists had an expression of hatred in their eyes. The inquest today also heard how 2 people had been stabbed in the face. One man, Daniel O'Neill, now I remember Daniel O'Neill, but anyway, told how one of the terrorists said, "My family in Islam was a mistake." This, I believe, is Gerald Vowles. He's not someone I came across before. Not to say he was a new addition or anything, it's just not a person I'm familiar with. Yeah, Daniel O'Neill. This is the guy. On my previous channel I made a video about his mum. She was being interviewed about it, and she claimed he had a big stab wound, a 7-inch scar going across his stomach, like a day after it had happened. And I pointed out, of course, you wouldn't have a scar after a day. So like I said, across the stomach, let's see. We'll just read Mr. Vowles' account, and then we'll hear what Mr. O'Neill's got to say. Right, a hero football fan hurled a pint glass at the London Bridge terrorists in a bid to stop them attacking more victims, an inquest heard. I'll just say that again rings a bell with, I think he was a Romanian guy who happened to witness it, and again I think he was throwing crates. I've got a video, I'll have to maybe try and find it, where I bring up about Ignacio Echevarria. Perhaps we could have started with that. It is interesting how the stories have changed though in the 2 years. Right, Gerald Vowles shouted at the extremists and said, "You coward, come and get me." after he watched them stab Marie Bondeville, who was set upon during the attack. The 49-year-old said he just wanted them to concentrate on me and maybe leave the girl and try and save her life. Mr. Vowles had been in the area watching the Champions League final and described seeing a man leaning against the wall on the opposite side of the road who said he'd been stabbed and had a pained expression in his eyes and blood coming down his side. He recalls seeing people running from the direction of London Bridge, and one man was shouting, "There's terrorists, they're attacking everyone." He went on to find two British Transport police officers, Wayne Markey and Leon McLeod, who confronted the men, armed only with their truncheons. As he went back towards the scene of the attack, he heard a scream. It was a young woman being attacked by 3 terrorists. They were not human-looking. The expression in their eyes was hatred. They were round in a circle. I could see them thrusting many, many times, all 3 of them. The worst part gives me nightmares. She kept saying, "Help me, help me." I remember one of them saying, "This is for Allah." In an act of bravery, he tried to distract the attackers, but backed off when one of them ran at him. I didn't turn around till I got to the other side. I saw the guy come back and carry on stabbing the lady. So not quite as heroic as Roy, actually. After half a minute, less than that, they decided they wanted to move on. Mr. Vowles shouted, "You cowards, come and get me," but said, "I don't think they took any notice of me. They hadn't passed the buses. They were jogging, looking left and right for victims." Buses. Is that the classic crisis actor buses that we always see? Right, he started to warn over the approach, shouting, "Terrorists." I was trying to warn as many people as I could. He said, "I think I may have been in the middle of the road, keeping my distance. I could see people coming from the left side. I was pointing and shouting, and people were noticing what I was doing and could see they had knives in their hands and were turning back." I just see Reboot the Matrix has joined us. Hi, mate. Always good to have you aboard. Big fan of your work. As of course I am of Amazing Grace's work as well. Right, I'll go back to the story quickly. We are going to start running some of these supposed victims' faces through Forensically and see if anything odd comes out. Yeah, one man walked straight into their path. I screamed at him, "Run! Run, look around." By the time he turned around, the terrorist stabbed him in his side. Also in the inquest, so bear in mind, Daniel O'Neill, according to his mother, had a 7-inch scar across his stomach, alright? Also at the inquest was Daniel O'Neill, who was having a smoke with friends outside the Southwark Tavern when he was stabbed by a Moroccan-looking man wearing all black who cryptically told him, "My family in Islam was a mistake." I saw the knife in his hand and he started to swing it towards me, aiming for my chest, and at that second I twisted to the side and he stabbed me in the side. Okay, that's not quite what your mum said, but whatever. At that point there's a bit of a blackout. I don't think I fell. I held my side and walked into the pub and pulled a chair and sat down and said, "I think I've been stabbed." I thought he was going to say I pulled a chair and started drinking, but okay. Everyone was looking at me. I'm not sure why he didn't stab me again. The inquest also heard how an American tourist was saved by a policeman and 3 off-duty doctors when his heart stopped beating after he was stabbed in the face during the London Bridge attacks. Yep. Okay, unless you have a heart attack, why would your heart stop beating due to being stabbed in the face? Whatever. Robert Pearson from Colorado Springs, I think that's this guy here. They brought their passports along just in case anyone says, "We don't think you're really who you say you are." Now, why would anyone say that about them? Who knows? Yeah, they were having dinner at the Elephant Castle. They planned to walk along the river past the Golden Hind ship back to their hotel, leaving London Bridge tube station after 10 PM. The family had been in London Bridge when terrorists struck, killing... The family had been in London Bridge area on the 3rd of June when terrorists struck, killing 8 people and injuring 48. London Bridge, is that the same one or am I getting mixed up here? Right, Mr. Pearson told the inquest in the attack that he had noticed there had been no people on one side of the street and that he thought there would have been more traffic for the time of night and due to the area they were in. Could that be because the police had already shut off the area? Probably like 10 minutes before it happened. I noticed there were no people on one side of the street yet. I was looking back to make sure my wife was still with me because she was walking a little slow. As I rotated back forward, I noticed a male who looked like he was leaning against a building. He had this funny, angry look, like, "What are you doing?" As I continued to straighten myself out, this is when I was run into by another male. He ran at me like a bull rush, enough to get you off balance but not knock you over. My first thought was, it's 10 o'clock on a Saturday night near Borough Market, some drunk hit me. I like how his first thought just backed up the whole narrative. Bear in mind, he got stabbed in the face, okay? This guy. His heart stopped after getting stabbed in the face. You'd think he'd still have a scar, wouldn't you? Not a scratch on him. Crazy. Where were we? Right. As I continued to straighten myself out, that is when I was running to a... Oh yeah, read that. Right. Good. To be honest, this story goes on forever. We then hear about the junior doctor, Dr. Jonathan Moses. Nice biblical name there. Who didn't want people to be alone. I've already read about him. Now, we've got some CCTV footage. We don't hear anything about... We don't see Roy heroically fighting off terrorists, but we do get to see a white van drive past. This should be fun. Well, that was worth... I'm guessing it's this one. That was well worth watching, hey? Oh, what's this? CCTV shows James McMullen in the pub before London Bridge tap. All they'll show you is before. They never want to show you anything of any interest. We will see James McMullen in a minute. I'll just quickly look at the chat. Yeah. It's just Reboot. Greeting everyone. This seems to be, he says, this seems to be the place where the last of the still sane people are. Almost sane, although this stuff drives you madder by the day. Should we just see James? What brilliant footage. We've got 18 seconds. This proves everything. James McMullen was in a pub. I don't actually know who James McMullen is. Oh yeah, I do. Right, that's interesting. We'll go back and watch that. Hang on. Bear with me. I just want to make sure we're all looking at the same people. James McMullen. It's this guy. And we got a picture of him. And my computer always drastically slows down whenever I'm live streaming, so you'll have to bear with me a minute. This is James McMullen, apparently. Now, does that picture to you look legit? Okay, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But as we've just seen, there's footage of him in a pub. Oh, no. Right, hang on, let's watch it again. Oh, annoyingly, you cannot pause the video without this crap coming up. Right. There's the guy. Well, that proves everything, doesn't it? You can't question that. Okay, James McMullen. As I said, we're going to start putting these victims through photo forensics app in a minute. Actually, Forensically app is slightly better. I don't know how much more I can read of this. As you can, I don't know if you can see, we're barely a fifth of the way down yet. The story goes on forever. Do we want to see the coroners and family arrive? No, not really. There's that white van. Goodness me. And there was some nicely cordoned off streets. Right, I mean, to be honest with you, look at these guys. This one may... Okay, you could say it looks pretty legit. But this one, Rashid Redwan, is... I don't know, that must be the guy they were talking about having round eyes, because his eyes look very round. And this is Yusuf Zagbar. But it's not those people we're going to look at. It's these people. We'll bring up the Forensically app. Oh, first of all though, does anyone else see anything odd about the shape of this guy's head? What do you reckon? It's almost like the back is a real head, and they've superimposed. Perhaps that would be a good one to start with. Right, we need to go to this one. I'll have a quick look at the chat while that's loading up. Big trouble in Hong Kong, according to Reboot. The BBC going mental about censorship, yet ignore all our evidence. Yeah. What is going on in Hong Kong? And is it to do with the BBC? I don't keep up with the news, unfortunately. But yeah, you're absolutely correct about the West being complete hypocrites. I mean, particularly when you look at how they will criticise a country like South Korea for having maybe a dictatorship, and then look at our own country and we've got unelected head of state. Yeah, we are, the West, particularly Britain, are complete hypocrites. Right, we're going to open some files. Who should we look at first? Right, well I want to see this guy. I can't think of his name. Whoever that was we looked at a moment ago. Unfortunately, the pictures don't get any bigger. But like I said, just there. Right. As I said, the best one to look at on here is ELA, Error Level Analysis, because it will tell you any points in the picture that are not quite right, as it were. But unfortunately, the picture's so terrible. That's a shame. We can't. Well, I can zoom in. Although that then means everything's got to be done. Bring that down. Right. Not what I was expecting to see. Sorry, bear with me. Do you know why? Right, 1 minute. I think I'm literally using a screenshot here, which isn't what we want. Go back to that last story. Is it this one? Nope. Oh, I've already lost the page, haven't I? Apologies, guys. It won't be this one. Greetings to affected area. Who tells us TV news platforming Hong Kong demos, ignoring 30 plus weeks of demos in France. I see what you're saying. That wasn't something I was as familiar with. Right. What we want is a photo of... We'll go back. Sorry. This guy, Sebastian Belanga. Yeah, I think what I originally tried putting through was just a screenshot, which wasn't ideal. Could be wrong. 29. Start again. Right, oh, these are some of the other web apps that Jonas Wagner, the creator of Forensically, does. I'm not sure what they all are. Analog film emulator. An audio player that can change the speed and pitch. What's this one? Draw your own nebula right in your browser. This is the one we want. By the way, I will say, Reboot, I've been enjoying your videos on Carrie Simmons and Boris Johnson. Really great. Of course, I don't know if you're aware, we did play one of them in a more recent live stream. Right. Where were we? Huh. That's odd. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. So, right, sorry guys, I'm getting there. Is all I can say. Right, what you would expect to find with ELA, basically this should all be the same colour. Any areas that start glowing up are odd, I would say. What's this one? Looming gradients. Yeah, that guy's got a weird one. We'll look at a different picture because there's another person. Right. No. There was the one we saw going through the pub. It was this one. Yellow. Right, perhaps it would help if I put a picture through of what you'd expect to see. The only thing that's really showing up on this guy is the ear. Yeah, if I upload a, well, it's difficult to upload a picture. Right, one more. Yeah, Reboot, you point out you did watch the video, of course you did. I do remember, I have read it, my apologies. None of these pictures are actually quite coming out how I'd expect them to. Alright, I'll zoom in a little bit. It's difficult to see as well because the pictures are all so rubbish. Right, that's zoomed in 250 times. Oops. How much that can you see? Yeah, this area here would strongly suggest it's inconsistent, like I say. If I was to upload a picture. Now, one reason it could be is because, well, it kind of becomes pretty obvious, I think. Don't want to go like that much. When you look at these people, you can see a lot of them just how poor quality the picture is. Almost like they've just photographed a computer screen. But yeah, I think some of them look proper weird. This one particularly didn't really come out in the photo forensics app. But to me it almost looks like, you know how you get when the police knock together kind of a photo fit, and they say, right, we're going to put these eyes on. That's almost what this person looks like. As do a lot of them. I'm going to have a look at the chat in a minute. I have been going for about an hour now, so I'm going to start calling it a night over here in the UK. I'm not sure where most of you guys are from. I know Reboot and Amazing Grace are both in the UK, so I know it's about 11 your time. Reboot points out that we gave, I'm sure you guys all read this before me, but we gave the UK gave Hong Kong back to China 22 years ago today. I didn't realise that actually. And there is now a big riot over China of changing extradition laws. That's interesting. But Grace says Hong Kong was never truly returned. If you look at some of their laws, they remain the same, and they are also governed by our Privy Council. Did not know that. Why would an empire return land to people? It's all an illusion. Of course it is. Amazing Grace is off. Well, thanks ever so much for joining us. I hope you can catch it. Well, like, I'm going to start signing out shortly anyway, because like I said, it is getting late my time. There was one other thing. I don't know if many of you have come across. I'm sure most of you know I've covered the birth of Prince Archie, but the latest story I've heard is about the christening, because of course I'm now waiting for them to christen Archie, so that'll be the next chance we'll get to see the child. Right, Archie christening. What do you reckon? Duke and Duchess of Sussex demand private christening. So something tells me they're going to spoil our fun, and we're not going to get to see Archie being christened after all. Right. Yeah, the Duke and Duchess have demanded a private christening for Archie because they want to shield him from the public, it has emerged. The christening will be held at the private chapel at Windsor Castle and is understood to be a very small gathering, a royal source said. The ceremony is due to take place on Saturday, exactly 2 months after Archie was born. It is understood the pictures of the ceremony will be released on Sunday through the media and Harry and Meghan's Instagram account. That's brilliant. What will Saturday be then? I should be able to work that out, shouldn't I? The 5th? The 6th, okay. And they're going to release pictures on Instagram. So we're not going to see a live picture of the baby. Royal christenings are usually private affairs with invitations extended to the close family and chosen godparent. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have let photographers capture pictures of them and their children, family members, blah blah. Both Prince George and Prince Louis were christened. So, we're perhaps not going to get to see a moving Archie. Very strange. Gotta wonder where that child is though, because that's something for another day. Reboot, you say there's 2 baby dolls in the news. Okay, I'm guessing this is one of them. Who would the other one be? Yeah, I'm so terrible at keeping up with the news. I've not actually caught one. Story about a woman giving birth at a concert, and another one I can't remember right now, but they're running loads of fake baby stories. Curious, I did see on the front cover of one of the papers about a pregnant mother that was murdered or something horrible like that. Yeah, that's interesting. Reboot, thank you. I don't know, perhaps one last thing before we go, I'll just have a look at baby. Was that maybe at Glastonbury Festival? Given birth at concert. Let's see what comes up. Yeah, I'm gonna abandon my forensically think. Here we go. Pregnant Pink fan gives birth after the singer takes to the stage in Liverpool. Brilliant. Do we get... Well, we'll look at it. Now we all know about Pink. Now earlier on in the live stream we had, was it Mudlark, pointing out that Ivanka Trump isn't quite what she appears to be. Oh, I missed that one. We almost had a video of that weird family. Curious, okay. A woman gave birth during a pop concert. Has revealed that she's naming her daughter after the artist following the dramatic experience. Denise Jones, 32 from Liverpool, was enjoying Pink's opening number, Get the Party Started, at Liverpool's Anfield Stadium when she went to labour. At 36, there's your hopes number, hey. And 5 days pregnant, so they could have just had 37 weeks or whatever. She had been watching the pop star on stage, and just 4 minutes when the drama began at the packed gig on Tuesday. Well, this one thing this does is promote Pink, the fact that she's now on tour. So that's one reason for doing a fake baby story. The new mum, who was assisted by 2 paramedics, decided to name her £6, 4.5 ounce baby Dolly Pink. Oh god. Following her birth in the first aid room. Dolly, yeah, you're absolutely right. Reboot. They're laughing at us, mate. I'm still massively in shock. Just a bit gutted I missed the concert. Yeah, like, we really care about that. But I couldn't be any happier right now. Huh. Yeah, that looks very weird, doesn't it? Curious stuff. And what did you say the other one was? Yeah, it's definitely something worth looking out for. Look, what a great opportunity. Why waste an opportunity to promote Pink? Goodness me. Now let's not forget, this is probably an official, like, publicity photo, and they've probably had to pay Pink's team to use that. So a good way of chucking money at Pink. Yeah, of course that's a BS story. I'm sure we could find more hoax numbers, but for me, Dolly Pink, yeah. You're absolutely correct. Sometimes they'll do similar stories along this sidebar. It wasn't this one, was it? There's something that looks a bit weird there. MC Harvey welcomes a son named Koa Ray. Should we see if our favourite numbers come up? We'll just have a quick look at this video, and then I think I'm going to start winding down. That's my favourite saying. Right, do any of us know who MC Harvey is? The rapper thought he took the name. Always use Instagram, don't they? Every time Instagram. Superstar, sorry, this video popped up there. Superstar Ariana Grande performs for adoring fans in Brisbane. Good publicity there. Doesn't actually seem like a news story, right? On Monday, he treated fans to another glimpse of his newborn as he shared an adorable video cuddling his baby. What's the bet? That's not a newborn baby, is it? That thing's huge. What's the betting it doesn't cry if we see a video? Let's see if they share the video. Whoa, look at that ear. Someone looks a bit off about that. Anyway, we're looking for the hoax codes, aren't we? It is not known who the mother of his newborn son is. The star is reportedly estranged from his wife. Last year he was linked to Katie Price, Tranny, and Stephanie Davies, both of whom are now in relationships. Right. Oh, 21 seconds. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, they've got children kissing dollies now. 19/6/2019. I'm not that great with the numbers. That could be worked out. Who knows? Right, oh no, I'm not going to watch the So Solid crew. It'll probably get the stream taken down for copyright. Recently, the royal star admitted his eldest child, Angel, who was shared with Jolene Houghton, no longer thinks he's cool. So I'm officially not cool anymore. Just dropped my 11-year-old daughter at school. I said we'd like to walk to school. She said, no, Dad. How is that news? How is that even news? Harvey has had a checkered past. The former non-league footballer married Alicia Dixon in 2005. After 5 years of dating, she was left devastated following the after learning he had slept with the singer Javine. Who cares? I mean, who cares, eh? He was in Big Brother. Yeah. If they're telling us that is a newborn baby, I don't know, it just looks like a... does look like a doll, but I don't know. It's pretty big for a newborn baby, unless this guy's not very tall. Oh. Reboot, you're on a community strike. What was that for? Was that, I'm guessing, a copyright, or was that the harassment one? I'm sorry to hear that, but at least they only ban you for a week. I remember back when, on my previous channel, I think if you got a strike, you were banned for 3 months. So a week's not too bad. You say he's from the same part of London. Interesting. I'm not that great with accents, but I'm not sure. I don't want to say, you don't sound like a Cockney exactly, Reboot. But is it maybe Central London? That's up to you if you wish to share it. Dean Jones, yeah, I agree. We love your videos, Reboot. Very interesting. It'll be a long week without your videos. Right. I'm going to thank anyone who stuck out this live stream. I appreciate it. And for everyone who shared their views, Dean Jones, Reboot the Matrix, Amazing Grace. We had Affected Area popped in, DJ Carrera, Mudlark digging up the Thames. Dean Jones, you probably stuck through it all the way, so well done. I am going to be back with another video soon, I'm sure. Not sure. I generally don't plan too far ahead. Something will just pop up and it'll be like, that is blatantly fake, or how can people believe that nonsense? Yeah, but I will be back with another live stream. And yeah, Reboot, it's great that you could join us on this one. Thanks for sharing about the baby stories. Right, I hope you all have a great week, and I'll catch up with you soon. Take care. Yeah, I'll be back soon. Yeah, Reboot, I hope you're able to upload again soon, right, mate? Cheerio, one and all. Have a good night.